Hello, and thank you for clicking on the video. This is the start of a new Off Meta with the Moose series. This one we're going to be diving into the Skaven faction, the Rats, the Rat Pack. I'm going to be digging up some dreaded Council of 13 schemes from the pits, from the depths of the Rat theory crafting channel in Turns Discord. Full credit to this build style goes to the player Corsair 852. He was just crazy enough to think, hey, maybe if we bring about 7 weapons teams, they won't be able to shut down all of us, and we'll be able to keep shooting. And I've really been having a lot of fun with it. So we'll go more into the details of the build as we go along, but just to get us started here, I brought the Master Assassin for Skaven. Don't see him a ton. Little ninja rat. Getting ready to do. Oh yeah, just warming up. There he is. So this guy, he doesn't do a ton. He has a nice little debuff banner. 55 meters, a decent size radius, -8 leadership. Not totally applicable against the undead, but we're experimenting here. But it might help some units crumble. He has some nice melee. He has a little ninja star he throws that applies poison, which for this type of playstyle, adding a slow of the poison is really nice. But his main thing is he has stock, so he will be invisible to the opponent when the game starts. And Skaven really do not want to lose their lord because their base leadership is incredibly low. So he stays alive is really his main benefit here. The Eshin Sorcerer, not one you see a ton. He has Skitter Leap, which makes units unspottable and gives them stock and 25 speed boost, which can be really useful against shooting factions like the Vampire Coast. Say they have a cannon or Queen Bess in their backfield. You could cast Skitter and Leap on, say, a Wolfhound, move it up the flank, and then get back on that unit. But for Vampire Coast, we are not seeing cannons, we are not seeing mortars, we are seeing the full crab bat rush. So we can see Luther Harkonnen here flying up the flank, a glorious melee, a duelist and kind of character hunting hero. He has Hornswoggle, which is a really good debuff you can apply to, say, an enemy lord when you're chasing it down. He has shooting, which applies silence, which for context for newer players, that makes it so a hero unit can't use spells or abilities. So say if I brought Ikit on the Doom Wheel, super meta for Skaven at the moment, you could be shooting that character with Harkon's pistol and kind of preventing them from casting spells and really being effective at all. So big Terragoose Harkon coming up the flank. In the middle, we have the glorious crab rush, just a solid wall of crab coming up, trying to stuff me back into my deployment zone. So we're going to see if the gun line can hold here. Ikit, Zap, Zap, Cannon, applying shots onto Lamprey's Revenge. I do have one Warp Grinder here in the middle, which I'm going to try and hopefully use to slow some units, but we'll see how that works. Shooting going down, putting nice damage into Lamprey's Revenge to start things out. And the anti-air rat guns begin. We have a spell. No, it looks like the spell got canceled, but this is kind of the challenge with shooting builds, is the units are shut down now by the bats as the crabs approach, so I won't be able to get as much shooting out as I like to, but this is the kind of synergy for this build. Diving unit comes down onto your guns, tries to shut them down. You summon in wolf rats, which then are a really high DPS, kind of glass cannon unit, to clean them up and apply poison, which the wolf rats have, which will add even more slowing effects, and kind of free up your unit so they can keep on shooting. Master Assassin here applying his ninja kicks to some bats. Always good to kick a bat. Luther Harkonnen is flying overhead though. He could be diving in and applying some serious damage if he chooses to. Yep, he's going to go after... looks like the Warplock Giselles. But the crabs have got in. The shotgun-mounted crabs are going to start applying a lot of pressure to my army. The Skaven slaves retreat, as they're wont to do. But the bats have been cleared up, so this means the guns should be able to turn onto that front line. Trying to apply some pressure to Luther. Flamethrowers do a lot of damage with that fire damage. He is weak to fire damage. It looks like this is my opponent's plan for cleaning up just the horde of rats. It's going to be deck droppers with bombs. So this is a really solid unit into Skaven. Skaven's kind of challenge is flying units. They don't have any flying units of their own, and they don't have a ton to counter them. Howling Warp Gale is a spell that I could have taken with the Doom Warlock for Skaven, but I did not take that. I was trying something new, so won't have him available. But mass guns might be able to do the trick. We'll see how it goes. So turning the guns onto the bats, glorious Warpfire going up into the sky. Gonna be cooking those bats pretty good. And literally everything pointing at them, click and shoot. And it worked pretty well. That's one bat unit cleaned up. I think another one is coming in. But my opponent's strategy is working because I am stuffed back. He has the double cap, so I will be pushed back for now. Doggy's gonna be trying to chase off Luther, keep him out of the action for now. And these crabs are going to be a challenge. Warpfire throwers do not do armor-piercing damage, so they might be able to clean through the lines and apply serious pressure. But here is my counter, Rat Ogres, a really solid unit for the Skaven, that just providing the mass they need to slow up enemies, and a really solid charge bonus on this unit. That's a charge bonus equivalent to, say, like Questing Knights for Bretonia, mounted cavalry. So Rat Ogres kind of become the pseudo shock cav of the Skaven. So should be able to push back these Rotting Promethean crabs and give me some space. Guns fighting bombs here. Ratling guns shooting up into the sky as the deck droppers drop their bombs down on top of us. Glorious shot there. It looks like they will clean up another bat unit, but another one comes on. The endless bat tide is upon us. Guns now turning onto the Lamprey's Revenge. Look at the damage coming out on these weapons teams. This is kind of the benefit of them. You only need a few volleys to really provide devastating damage with these Skaven's weapons teams. But Fellbat's going to come down, probably clean up these guns, shooting to the last moment up into the sky. I love that. But most of my weapons teams are kind of cleaned up at this point. I'm going to need to find some new strategy to make it back into this game. I'm up in value, but I'm definitely down on battlefield control. Right here, the spell Veil of Shadows going down. One of the more obscure spells in the game, if we can focus on it here. Its normal version actually does nothing. It does no damage. It just makes a cool spinning effect. But when you overcast it, you get a silence, a leadership effect, and speed debuff, which probably not the most effective here against undead units like I was mentioning, but can be really nice for adding another slow on top of poison, and Ratling Guns have a suppressed slow when they shoot, so you can really control the movement of units on the battlefield is the idea. Warpfire bathing those rats in the sky. Rats surging forward now, trying to push back onto the middle, get me some more battlefield control. We traded value in the backfield with our shooting, and now the idea is we can move up and try and take some objectives and get back in this game. But Luther Harkonnen's still abusing my back line. Bats are finally cleaned up, but Luther is not, and he is on the hunt. It looks like he has found the Master Assassin, Hornswoggle going down. And he does get a very solid hit into the Master Assassin here. That little guy needs to get away. If he gets terror routed, Luther could run him right off the edge of the battlefield and take my chances of the game with it. Doom Flayer's coming out. Now that the crabs are cleaned up and there's no more mass for Vampire Coast, these chariots, little rats riding on Roombas of death, will start clearing up these units, and can really clear out the infantry and hopefully get me some leeway back in the battlefield. There is a terror route on the Master Assassin, but I did pop concealment bombs, kind of like a smoke bomb that the Master Assassin can pop, which does allow him to get free. And the guns apply a little pressure to Luther and clear him out. And he chooses to go for It Gets Zap Zap anyway. Has been getting really solid shots into the opponent so far. He smacks one cannon into pieces. Oh, and the Night Terrors for Vampire Coast are a really good call. You can see they've already routed about half of my army. Classic Skaven, you get some headway, and then you look and your entire army has decided to flee. But they do return. Skaven have an ability when they are running, where I believe they actually get increased speed. Yeah, leadership is wavering or lower. They get an increased speed buff, so they can escape from their opponents. But then the kind of the classic thing you kind of have to manage, sorry, as you're playing is pulling back in those routing units. Like you can see here in the distance, a couple Skaven slaves are hiding in the corner that have fleed. We have one Warlock Giselle, which are still operational with a couple models left in the unit that I'll need to locate at some point and pull back into the fight. Summoning in more guns. Ratling Gun's going to be trying to make sure Luther keeps running and moves back into his lines, giving me some space to operate. And cooking the deck dropper mob that's coming back in and trying to keep them from dropping hot loads onto my guns. And it looks like they are going to get completely cooked by those Ratling Guns, a great anti-air unit. Really, Skaven's only anti-air unit is the Ratling Guns. 2 Rat Ogres on top of the Morngol Haunter is going to do some nice work, but Luther Harkonnen is going to come in and possibly relieve them with his nice anti-large attacks on the Terror Goose, sorry. And I might get the middle back. We have one Doomflayer applying pressure here. Rat Ogres trying to clean up units. There's a lot of Vampire Coast capture weight that we've had to chew through. And the value has gotten a lot closer. So as my weapons teams have worn off, the Vampire Coast have gotten more and more value. These bombers, just through sheer weight of numbers, have been kind of clearing out all my units surging forward. And Vampire Coast does manage to keep the capture weight, which is going to keep me stalled back for quite some time. My answer is more Doomflayers. Those should be able to hopefully clear out some of these infantry and give me more space. More Withering Guns shooting into the sky as the bombs drop down on top of them. We'll see. I think this gun unit might be cooked. Yep, they're about finished. And Fell Bats coming down is going to be a very difficult combination for me to deal with. But hopefully we can clear those out. Giselles have rallied. Skaven slaves have returned from the corner of the map. Always something you got to manage as a Skaven player. And again, trying to get the capture weight. 2 Doomflayers here should be able to clear out the infantry units if they can avoid Luther Harkonnen for long enough. And more bats. The endless bat tide Skaven slaves tossing their pebbles up are going to apply some nice pressure and hopefully give me some relief. But as I say that, Fell Bats dive on them. And yeah, I'm just really stuck trying to make my units get forward up through the middle, but they keep getting crushed by these bomb-dropping bats. Classic bomb-dropping bat. Always got to watch out for that. But we're close. We have almost got objective 2. I'm way behind in points. It's dangerously close to a point where I'll need a triple cap to win the game. But you can see these Doomflayers are applying a ton of damage to these units. And gonna probably be able to clear them out. But as I say that, the crabs, or not the crabs have returned. We have animated hulks coming in, which are a decent little armor-piercing roadblock, which is going to be able to push away my Doomflayers. They are not going to want to sit and fight with animated hulks because it will tie them up and not really be an optimal engagement at all. And that will get my opponent the middle back, most likely. But I do capture it just in time to avoid a triple cap as well, which is really important. The dreaded bats with bombs have cleared out my backfield and my shooting units, which really have just not been able to chew through them in time as they come in. You can see Warplock Giselles going down here. So I'm going to need to have some plan to get out of my backfield and get forward again. It gets zap, still online somewhere in the distance, hiding back. A lone unit of Rat Ogres does move up here to capture the high ground. Going to send my Doomflayers up there as well, since they no longer have any good engagements in the middle. But I am in danger of losing the middle here pretty soon. Wolf Rat's going to lend their capture weight, try and hold on to this for some time. More rats returning from the hills. Oh, Luther's charging into the guns, but that's going to be a lot of DPS, especially as he gets closer. We'll see what kind of damage comes in as he tries to shut down these little rats here and really nice damage, and it applies a slow, by the way, of minus 30% speed debuff from the Ratling Guns. So really, really great for those last samurai kind of gunning down units as they charge it. But he does make it in. Morngul Haunter is going to be probably routing off these wolf rats here in a minute, and the pressure in the middle is going to be relieved for the Vampire Ghost. Ratling Guns, more coming in, are going to clean up the bats, allow space for even more Ratling Guns to move forward, kind of in these open, chaotic in-game scenarios. They're really nice because that slow debuff is really going to keep the movement of my opponent under control, combined with the poison from the wolf rats, which also applies a speed debuff. If we can go on it, yeah, minus 15% speed. So the Ratling Guns with their minus 30% speed, you're cutting a unit down to about half speed, which can give you some really nice battlefield control for those guns. But bombs coming in here, combined with Luther, and the Master Assassin is in some serious danger. The little rat who is on the run. Luther does get distracted by some other little rats. That's going to give this guy some time to escape. We'll see if Luther can turn around and find his target. Mass pistols being summoned in. These zombie pirate gunnery mobs are a really nice chaff unit. They shoot while moving, so they can fire off their pistols. No melee stats to speak of, but a lot of bodies that your opponent has to chew through. And you can see those pistol shots going to the Rat Ogres are going to do some nice damage. But the Doom Flayers come down from the hills, trying to push off and take back the objective that they just took. Going to maul through those units, so Vampire Coast might need some mass. You can see a lot of damage coming in. And Luther Harkonnen has not forgotten about the little rat. He's chasing the Master Assassin into the backfield. Ratling Gun still trying to clear out the backfield and make their way back to the middle. Animated Hulks here for Vampire Coast, going to try and put some pressure on Objective 1. Nice decision. And again, we're almost in triple cap territory, so I need to get an objective back very quickly. And this rat does not stand alone. Wolf rats coming in. Might be able to turn the tables here on Luther, who does not have a ton of HP right now. Master Assassin clearing his way out, making his escape. And Luther could go down here. Wolf rats, they can get a lot of models in around the unit to get their attacks in. And yep, Luther is going to try to retreat. And the Master Assassin turns around to give chase. He is coming for revenge for being abused all game and hoping to get some swings in on Luther. And a kill right now on the enemy lord would be really big. Could give me some nice momentum, but probably won't matter too much at this point. It's reached a triple cap position, so my opponent, if they were to just have one objective, if I was to take two instantly somehow, they would still reach 1,500 points before I was in range. Withering Ratling Gun fire coming down onto my opponent, trying to clear out these animated hulks, combined with the armor-piercing damage from the Rat Ogres. It is going to make some progress very quickly, and I need it, running out of time rather quickly. Up here on the high ground, Doom Flayers are still clearing out these guns. Looks like they will pretty soon, so I might be able to get the capture weight advantage there and get that objective. No response from Vampire Coast yet. Luther is surrounded in the trees, and Dwayne the Rock changes his mind. Thinks, actually, that's a pretty terrifying monster, and I'm just going to run away, leave the wolf rats to do their business. More bats coming in, another wave of bats coming in to try and clear out the guns, who are melting these Morngulls, but they will be shut down. Guns firing into the bats, straight into their face. Probably won't be enough. Capture weight is all that matters now. Up here on the high ground, wolf rats countering that capture weight. In the middle, need to clear out these units very quickly. High ground is almost taken. Master Assassin coming in to lend to his capture weight. Units from Vampire Coast will be too far away, but time is ticking. It's still a double cap. Luther still in the trees, still fighting those wolf rats. High ground is going to get taken, but only 10 seconds left. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get it. It's close. 1, 2, and not quite. Very close game there. Almost had it, but just did not move forward quite soon enough. Really good game from my opponent. Was super fun one. Yeah, and that was that was pretty satisfying. Nothing's more satisfying than getting a good game with the Skaven's weapons teams, and they did pretty well. 1500 on one Warplock Giselle. Insane value from it. Gets Zap Zap. Wasn't really paying attention to it too much in that game, but crazy damage from it. It kept getting routed by Luther and then returning and firing into units, which is kind of where it thrived there. Master Assassin actually got some solid value. I'm not sure. Maybe that was from his ninja stars he was throwing. Warpfire throwers had some nice solid damage. The more Ratling Guns in reserve did really well too, and these wolf rats also had pretty solid damage. Yeah, so you can kind of see that there is some merit to mass shooting. I mean, if I didn't have 3 Ratling Guns, those deck dropper bombers really would have just mowed down my entire army, probably initially all my Skaven slaves, all my chaff, and then that would have left the rat ogres to get mulched by Luther. Um, the swarming approach for Vampire Coast was really effective. Luther, you can see, got really solid damage chasing those weapons teams. My opponent chose the option where you kind of trade the value game away in exchange for the battlefield control game, which I think on a map like that, with its narrow choke points and lanes, is a really good choice against Skaven. If you can control the objectives for just, you saw how effective that double cap was initially for gaining control of the game. Yeah. So I'll be continuing this series with some more games. I think there was some changes I could have made to my build, maybe a different caster that could have given me a better advantage into these kind of flying, swarming units. So I'll be displaying that in some future games. And again, as always with these series, the goal is to eventually win a tournament. So we'll be trying to get into some competitive games here soon and seeing what the glorious Clan Skyer mass shooting can do. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.